to take off work, so I kind of took off around like 6 o'clock, and I was like, well, yeah, let's do it. So that's pretty
Dude,
much all I've been doing.
man, you and I have like grown up together, man. So this is cool that we're still friends all this time. Man, Aubrey, man, I've known Anton so long. I remember I used to work at Blockbuster Music in
Nice.
'97. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that
and
was a
um
good year.
and Anton would come in, and this is before you could like order CDs, like rare ones, you know.
Right.
I guess you could, but he would come in and we'd have a big phone book,
Yep.
and he'd give me, you remember, he'd give me all these lists of all these albums to order for you.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. You used to love the band Ecstasy. That's I remember
Oh, oh, I
you're
still
always
do.
talking about
He
Yeah,
them.
still does.
yeah,
He
yeah. I
still
still do.
does.
They,
Yeah.
now you got Aubrey, you said you're covering a Black Sabbath song. Which song are you guys covering?
We're doing fairies wear boots.
Oh, I have to go back and listen to that. That's cool.
Yeah.
How'd you pick that one?
I don't
Uh,
know really.
uh,
Like the musicianship in it in the song is just fantastic. And everyone's parts in it are just so awesome. And to see everyone else play it, like there's not a whole lot of lyrics and I don't dance, so I mean
dun, 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 dun.
the guys are fucking great. But we do kind of like Sabbath if the Doors did it, but like if
Mhm.
Right.
Jim Morrison was singing a Sabbath song,
Yeah.
come hear it.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
Well,
How did you go ahead?
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, no. You know, when you were dancing, Anton, I was thinking you should get like a jazz set so you could stand up and dance. You know, as you
I
play.
want to do that. I want it. I want to get one where I saw what is it? Steel Panther. I love those guys.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that party, what is it? Party Want to Rule the World song. He has a standing up drum set. And I was like, I want one, and I want one of those so badly. So I'm gonna get one.
Nice, dude. I got so many questions for you guys, but first of all, your band's Wormwood project. How did you guys come up with the name? That's an interesting band name.
Um, I guess it depends on who you ask and at what point in time in our life we were asked the question. I know originally it came from a dream that Brandon had.
Oh,
Um,
Brandon. Yeah.
yeah, and it had something to do with this dream, and I thought that was kind of cool. We rode with it, and then we really like for a point in time, and wormwood is also the main ingredient in absinthe.
Mm.
So we went through that phase for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yep.
so that was that was fun stuff. And then I don't know. It's just we've had the name for so long.
Yeah. How long you guys been together? I mean, you guys been together for a while now, right?
Yeah, originally like I had started off as a drummer. Drums was my first instrument. That was what I did. Dave Grohl and John Bonham and Danny Carey and Keith Moon. Those were my absolute drumming idols. And I started playing when I was like 4, and just started like a grunge band with the kids around the neighborhood, and stuff like that. And then found some kids in like high school that had similar goals. And then I met
Mm.
up with Anton. Like Anton got me my first gig at Penny University.
Oh yeah,
Penny you, penny you.
dude, represent. That's my
I
first show
was,
too. That's so cool.
yeah, I was like 14, and we played with him a lot. Like they looked after us. 0% vitamin A, and
Oh yeah.
I love the music scene. Um, yeah, but the band that I had originally played in, it kind of just died out, and I had started writing my own stuff and pulled a Dave Grohl and met Brandon in high school, and he started playing like heavier metal stuff over these acoustic songs I was writing. And at the time they were like 8-minute songs because I fucking loved The Cure, and I
Yeah,
nothing like how it dragged out. like I had just got Disintegration, and that was the greatest album ever. So I didn't care about writing like 4-minute pop songs or whatever. Like I wasn't writing for a chorus. It was like a big dramatic thing. But we shortened down the songs, and we'd got a band. Matt Kalberg and Wes Kalberg, who are bass player and drummer, and Casey Gaskins was our original guitarist. We had a personal tragedy when we lost Wes, and I just kind of stopped playing music. This is like the only thing I've ever done that I was good at. Like that. This music is the only thing that I know, and I just stopped, and just went downward spiral wise. But Brandon at the end of it had called me and was like, "Hey, I'm getting the band back together. Do you want to be in it?" And I was like, "Do you have any songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got tons of songs," which was a complete I hadn't written it in maybe like a month, but I'm like, I'll get myself together and like go, and do practice. Like, who's the drummer? And he's like, Anton. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing that. So and that was the thing. It was like I came full circle. I've got to work with all the musicians that I've really respected, and this version of what we are now, I think, is the most cohesive, strongest version of us, because every person in the band is fucking awesome. They could all put out solo albums and they would all be bangers. Everyone,
Yeah.
they're just all good, but they're all super humble about it. So you're not gonna know. But as a force, like this is pretty cool for us.
Yeah, anytime I hear that Anton's in a band, I'm like, oh, I gotta check him out because Anton's the man.
He
You're like one of my favorite drummers.
when you're a 14-year-old kid and you're watching like the Black Dave Grohl with dreadlocks,
Yeah, the Black Dave Grohl. That's awesome.
No.
like
No
how
pressure.
and you can feel it like when he plays, like you can tell there's passion there, and just to watch it and see he's having fun, you're like, I know I got the right guy.
Yeah,
Like,
Anton has positive energy, man. For
yeah, and so
sure.
that was just so fun watching back in the day, and it's still like fun watching now. Like if we're practicing or something, you'll like look back and just hear Anton just laughing, just because he's all like because he's rocking out and he's enjoying it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why we do this.
Anton, how do you decide what band you want to play in? Because so many people probably want you in their band. You just say like, I'm just gonna
That's
play
true.
with these guys.
Oh wow.
We're building you up, man.
That's I've learned a lot from that. I guess the best way I can say that is I had played with Chris Unk, and we had a band called Sold Out, and that taught me a lot of stuff. I get my ego, and my ego was out there, and so I needed to humble myself a lot more. And so after I got done with that for a few years, I went back to play with Mickey Lee, and they had already been doing Gravity Zero, like doing more of a like a alternative type cover band with it. And
Dude,
Gravity
I was
Zero
like the
stuff.
original bass player of that band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Nice.
because we had quit that band after Tony, right? Tony Hart, and 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 we were practicing at his place, and it was awesome. And then uh, he passed, and and then after that,
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. Tony.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway.
it was, and well, and so I got back with Mickey, and we were doing some Gravity Zero stuff, and we did the 2 a.m. project that him and Alex were doing, and I would come on and do drums when we do the '90s shows, what we called it, the last
Yeah.
iteration of it, and
Yeah.
it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was it got it's funny because I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
Your original question was like, how do I know which ones to go to? And the real answer is if I love the music and it resonates with me, and I feel I can add to it and and do my own thing and then collaborate. Um, I like to write drums, and so I don't like to just do what the conventional thing does. And that's always what I did in 0%, Sold Out, Gravity Zero. And I just kept up with that premise. Even Black Stone Kings, when I was in that, that was a band I was in Gwinnett.
Yeah,
That was really good too. And it's kind of like a Sabbath band too. So I
it's
like
cool.
Sabbath stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's kind of how it works. Uh, when they asked me to join this one, I said, well, let me listen to the music and see what I thought. And Wes was such a good drummer. First of all, it was like, oh, the challenge was there because he's more of like a Danny Carey guy, and I do some of that stuff, but I'm more of an energy type guy. So I said, well, I think I can add some like energy to it, to where maybe Wes would do more of a technical thing. I wanted to do more of an energy thing, and that kind of started to work out a lot better for me, and they liked it too, and so that
Yeah.
was how it kind of formed working with these guys.
Yeah. Who else is in the band too? Can you guys talk about that? You got Brandon, obviously.
Yeah, we got Brandon
Yeah.
Gaines. He was
Yes.
in Sergeant Kickass, which is still, I don't care if they think it's dumb. That is the greatest band name ever.
Mhm.
Their drummer had a full scale tank built into his, no joke, built into his bass drum with a freaking turret. And there was like smoke and stuff. How cool is that?
Yeah,
But
I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
dude.
uh, he was in Lace Labor before that. And that's kind of where Yako came in. Yako Kylie is
Kylie, yeah.
amazing, amazing bass player, and all around just good dude.
Yeah.
If you need it, that man will drop what he's doing and help you out. That's one of the few people you can call on. But amazing bass player, amazing all around musician. He's a really good piano player
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he
And he's a
plays
nice guy
everything.
too.
Yeah,
Plays
he's
everything.
a great guy. He's got good hair.
Good hair, yeah.
Smells. Um, but yeah, so that's what we've been doing. I had taken over guitar when Casey had moved back to Germany. So I had to like write my own. Well, I had to learn my own guitar parts because I was just singing before this. I didn't really have
Mhm.
any control over music wise. Like I might write some songs or some riffs and go, all right, you guys work on it. But when you have another guitarist that really, it's more ideas in the pot. But I think with this, it's a more cohesive sound since I do primarily most of the songwriting, like a basic bone structure. And then, everyone just goes over it, and what they put on it is what makes it this way. Like I could still play the songs acoustic and they sound cool, but they're they're equally important and awesome electric how they're supposed to be, but we can
So,
break it down like that. We're all songwriters, every one of
Yeah.
us.
yeah,
And
man.
like how Anton talks about crafting his drum parts, like I mixed and mastered those drums, and I could tell you every tiny like hit and drum fill that maybe I had listened to a million times live in the room, and I was like, I don't know where he's going with this, but I hear when I'm hearing everything like super clear, and you go like, that's the most complicated, like cool ass way of playing, and I would have never thought it. And it all he doesn't give himself enough credit as far as technical abilities, but he's got a very like Carter Buford thing going for him too. So
Wow.
when he throws in fills like that, like it's cool. But I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out where I am on guitar. So it's it ups
Do
the
you guys
game.
do you guys you're all songwriters. Are you saying like do you write the music first, or are you saying you write lyrics and then you write the music around the lyric? Is that how you guys do it?
Um, it depends, man. A lot of times how I've been doing it is if I really get something um music wise, I'll send it to the band and be like, what about this? And some stuff I'll just have like I've got the lyrics for, I've got the music for it now. I've got this picture, this is what this is.
Mhm.
And this is the story. And then they add on to that like Temperance that up until the recorded version was like Anton's drum part and everything, and just this huge thing at the end with all the solos. That was like everybody coming together
Mhm.
and making an opus. And that one was, I never thought I would have anything like wrapped out or like feel mapped out, but like Temperance, there's so many parts in it, but it all flows together.
It
Um,
does.
and
Yeah.
it's heavy and it's not, and then it gets heavier, and then it's not a heavy song. It's just there's a lot of emotions that go through it. So it's
Mhm.
cool to see it play out like that.
I want to talk about this new album you guys have, the EP, Ghost. Ghost.
Yeah,
Plural.
ghosts.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's
Anton, you're telling me like you guys or everybody's writing or recording at their own house, right? You guys just sending
Yeah.
files and you had an
no.
electronic kit, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's a lot.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, we
so,
what is it? Yeah. Well,
so
so
good.
we basically we had we practiced like we got everyone has things that they're gonna do. So our practice is very like very niche. We have to practice at this time, these times, and if we don't practice that, we miss like a bunch of practice. So
You
when
miss a
it,
lot of time in between. So
yeah, it
Mhm.
does.
you got
Yeah,
to make this stuff up somehow.
right, right. Well, and the deal is like COVID was going on too, and
Yes, yeah.
I told these guys, I say, well, look, we're just going to have to record our parts and see what we like, and then do a practice we do, and then take that home and then work on it at home because we wouldn't have the time. And so it was really cool. Everyone got upgraded computers, and
Oh yeah.
I bought this kit because I wanted to. It's the new VAD 503, 506 kit. It's like a godsend. It allows me to do all the
It's so good.
recording I want to, and I can play and sound great
Uh,
everywhere and be quiet or loud as I want dynamically. And I can record with it. And that's what I did. I recorded. They give me a scratch track. I record it to a click. I get to play how I like, uh, do the motions what I want. So it's not like electronic. It's actually the real drums. And then I would put drum samples from a superior drummer, and then I would send it to Aubrey, and Aubrey would mix and master the rest of it. And that's how we did the EP. It was really cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
so like when you guys turn in music, did you ever do you have to go back a lot and like re-edit, or I mean, do you have to play songs, a bunch of times to get it just right? Or I mean, is it just kind of one take?
No,
Uh,
no, 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 no. Like no, because some of the stuff I was writing, some of the stuff I had a skeleton, but we didn't.
Yeah,
You talk about something that you're going to put out there for the world to have, and so I wanted to make sure I was happy with that because
right.
there's
Yeah,
some
that's what I was
recordings
getting
in
at.
yeah, some quarters in the past, like oh, which and I didn't want to do that. So
Yeah.
there were some
yeah.
songs like Temperance you talked about.
Yeah,
Temperance
10%.
pissed me off. I love it, but like there was some stuff I was hearing in it, and I couldn't do it at first, and so I had to practice a couple of weeks to get the part that I wanted to do, so I could do it. And so I sat every day and practiced the stuff until I ironed it out, and then I sent it to them, and they're like, "Oh, that's what it is." I said, "Yes, that's it. That's what I want." And so it was definitely a learning experience doing it too, being
Yeah,
happy
man.
that you record.
You guys sound so tight, like with the final product. Aubrey, you said you mix it yourself, like once they send you the files?
Yeah, so and honestly, there's no telling how many guys have to do. I get their bare takes of it. Like with Temperance, you know, I would put just a bare bones, even if I missed notes, uh the guitar track all the way through, just something rough for him to follow. He might not
Mhm.
even I might put like scratch vocals along to it, something so he knows kind of where he's along. And he just plays along to that. But he's also giving me edits and everything, like sending me takes, like I don't know about this here or that here. And that's how different technology has changed too, since I had started doing this on like 4-track cassettes. I've been recording for a really, really long time, I feel like, but just now with like this kind of super upgraded equipment, it was like it's like you're going into it bare bones. And I've recorded a lot of stuff. I know Anton's recorded a hell of a lot of stuff, and it's not that we haven't been fully happy with the products. It's that this is the first thing where everybody's had a voice, everybody's had a say in it, and it's made something awesome, like, and being a drummer too, like I'm critical of how his drums sound in a mix because I want them to sound good for him. And
Yeah, that's good support.
it's a
Yeah, it
part
is.
about it's a part about being a producer. It's taking the ego hat off of it and going like, either one, I know you can do better. Don't take that fucking personal. This has nothing to do with
Right.
you, but I've heard you can do better. And that goes with everybody. And you've got like musicians that are, I feel like some of the best, in Gainesville, some of the best in Georgia, and you're telling them, hey, your shit's a little slack here. Like, you have to be able to do that. And you have to be able to do that in a way that's not, condescending or whatever. But yeah, it's all taken time. I mix everything at the house. I've got everything I need now. I've been doing all the mastering and learning about mastering. I mean, people do this for 50 years, and it's an art and it's a craft, and it was just something to keep my hands busy,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah. I
and
like
it was
I'll keep
it
going.
was
Yep.
once it was once that like the kind of obsessive need to keep busy really really paid off, like for us. I still hear things that I would want to change, but I'm 99% happy with what I've got, right now. The only
The
one I've been
album's
able to say that.
the album's great, man. I love the Broken and the Dam. I love that the guitar riff and the drums on that. That's and obviously your vocals. It's like
Thanks.
pretty heavy, like it sounds good.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That song, well, so like Broken in the Dam was a song that I really wanted to because the first iteration of it, it wasn't what I wanted. A lot of times in practice, I I'm playing the song so everyone else can play the song, but that's not necessarily what I want to do because sometimes it doesn't come to me immediately. Like it, so I have to hear it, and that's like why I like to take practice home, and then I hear it in the car, and I'll play on the car and the steering wheel, and I go, that's what I want, and then I'll play that, and then I'll finally start to bring the parts out, and like Broken the Dam, it was one of those things that it just one of those things. Oh, it just came, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that sounds the best that I ever did. I want to do that, and that's what
Yeah.
it is now. So
They put a lot of work into that one too. And what's crazy is I always record Yako last. And it's partly so like I like to show him all the samples and stuff or whatever I've like hidden in the songs that people don't know about. It's like our little buddy thing. But so he always puts his bass track in last. And when we recorded Broken into Dam, there's this part in the middle that's just this badass, and Yaku's supposed to play along with it, and Yaku doesn't know yet that Anton has written this big ass. I have to play along to that. Like, yeah, and go. So here's how cool Yako is, right? Like Yako not only made the bass riff to this almost drum solo tribal like thing going on, he matched his notes like perfectly rhythmically. So if you
Wow.
listen to every note Anton's playing, Yako is playing something that's matching his stuff.
Oh, that's unreal. That's so cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
So Yako sends you that and you mix it up and that's it. Do you guys have like extra stuff kind of layered in there? I've noticed like it almost sounds like sound effects and little weird sounds here and there that make it sound really, really tight. Are
Thanks.
you a part of that, Aubrey, or is that
Yeah, I'm doing all that. I was really inspired by Trent Reznor is one of my heroes, not only for like the sobriety thing, but for that story of redemption. Everybody likes it, the Johnny Cash kind of story.
yeah. Yeah.
But my respect for him as a musician is through the roof. So I always liked that. I really enjoyed the band Vast. They did a video audio sensory theater. I think it was the first album or something like that. It was kind of Nine Inch Nails sounding, but he used a lot of samples. it's something about that's always been intriguing, just noises. I used to do it with like 4-track cassette tapes and stuff, where I would just go record sounds and then throw them into and throw them in like drums or into a mix, or mess with vocals. So it's always been a part, but now that we have the technology to do it, it's like I can play piano, or I could put in samples here, or I could
Mhm.
add everything that I've wanted to add into and not overkill it. But it's like, Pink
Hmm.
Floyd, we love Pink Floyd, like the huge sounds from that. And that's where I get a lot of
Yeah.
it from. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love it, man. It makes it, I mean, just it's makes it that much better. Another question I have is the hollow. Is there some female singing on that song in the chorus or something?
Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
freaking great.
Who is she?
Her name is Miss Tiff, Tiffany Roll, and she is, among many things, the backing singer with Elzig, who, if you don't know about
Oh, I know who she
Elzig,
is. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, keep
yeah,
going.
and she sang with Casket Creatures, and I don't know
I'm wearing
how.
the shirt.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I love that one. Yeah,
Nice. Elvis, you
she's
gotta go back to Elvis. That's the dude that sings Elvis and
Elzig.
dancing.
He, man, he's got the cape and everything, and it's so
No,
fucking
I've
Dude,
seen
he's
cool.
that.
awesome.
It's so awesome. And I watched
Anton
it.
needs the cape, man. You need a cape, Anton.
Oh, but yeah,
Zap.
uh,
Yeah.
we had put out the song literally right after I wrote it. I think I don't know how long it took me. The song itself was heavy to write, but I had always wanted a female singer, and part of the original idea for Wormwood was I wanted to have two singers, like a male singer and a female singer. But I had heard Tiff sing with Casket and Elzig, and I'm like, man, on this chorus, I could do something cool. Like, just thinking as a producer wise, like, man, I could layer this shit at the end,
Yeah.
and it would be awesome. And she was so cool, and she believed in the song, and she really took it to heart, and she stopped what she was doing and wasn't a diva at all, man. She was badass. She recorded the parts. Literally, she's 2 hours away from me, so like recording her, even though we really wanted to be in the same room on the same microphone, she did it 2 hours away and sent me the track, and I had to edit her and cut her up and put her in the song like she was here with us. So she had done like a low vocal and then a high vocal, and then we went with it. And it fits so nice, man.
Yeah.
Her voice is really good with mine on it. Like, I really wanted her to be at the show on the 23rd, but she's going to be doing an awesome burlesque thing, so I'm not mad at her for it. Weird thing, but
Yeah.
to have her on stage doing that with us, when we come back around in September, that's going to be cool as shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. I got one more question for you on this Ghost EP that you guys have. Is it how hard is it to find out how to put the songs in order, like the first to the last song? Does that take a while? Like, because I always think that like Tempera should open the album, or
Yeah.
even the Broken and the Dead, because every song is pretty catchy. Is it hard figuring out the opening song for
I'm
the album?
It's not a problem to have all those songs be catchy. That's a good thing. That's kind of, I went to the school of music where you get that catchy chorus in. You
Yeah.
get that catchy chorus in every
Don't
time,
bore us.
baby.
Get to the chorus.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
you need to have a chorus, and if you're gonna have something that's catchy, you might as well damn well say something, so it can get stuck in people's heads.
Yeah,
As far
man.
as like track listing on this one, I don't know.
I mean, like you just say we're just gonna put these songs in this order and call it a day, I guess.
I mean, we know it would kind of open up like, Broken into Damned. To me, the opening of it sounds like a Soundgarden song, just a
Yeah,
straight up
Yeah, it does.
Soundgarden song with the
Yeah.
feedback and that
dude,
riff.
that the guitar riff, yeah, man. We gotta talk about Brandon too. By the way, I can't like I used to play at church with Brandon, so
Yeah.
Nice.
does he come up with some of these guitar riffs, these heavy, or is this band kind of all come together?
I let Brandon do Brandon because Brandon
Yeah,
is the technical guy, and
he is. Yeah,
I didn't get taught by anybody, you know. Like I had to play with guitarists who were way better than me and try to hang on. And that's and you know what better person to have than Brandon? He's been my co-writer now for God since 2003,
Yeah, no,
2004.
right.
Wow, really?
And Brandon is the only person that I can write with at all. If I'm talking start to finish, he knows where I'm going with a song. Like I could tell Brandon to like write a song that sounds like I would write it like right now, and he would come up with something that I would probably end up writing in a couple of weeks. Like it's fucking crazy. He's just that good, but we have that kind of relationship. We know where we're going as far as the vision is exactly the same thing. The subject matter is exactly the same thing, you know, and we've always had this dynamic, and that's one person that I cannot do this without is Brandon. I learn
Wow,
a lot from
that's
his
huge.
I learn a lot from his guitar playing, not blowing smoke up his ass, but I mean he's great. And you know, everyone always talked about like, you know, look at, you know, like how fast he is, and like, you know, just this blazing ginger mane lined Mustaine Jr. looking kid. And that's great and all. If you can play that fast, that's cool. But if you do
Yeah,
that all the damn time, like what's the big deal? Like I love the blues. Like
right.
you don't
Yeah.
start out singing like "Ah," you don't blow your load right at the beginning, you know. You
Don't
got to
blow your load
ease
at the
on
beginning.
you got to ease on into it, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, as the years, all of us have changed. We've all changed as musicians, you know, and we've all got more tasteful. And I think we all know when to hold back now.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
everyone's tasteful about it. You know, I mean, we could all play a million miles, you know, an hour and be as heavy as we wanted all the time.
Yeah,
It's not,
Anton. Oh yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
you know, what are you gonna get from that after a while? You got to have some dynamics. So
Exactly. It's got to be catchy. Yeah. Anton, I was going to ask you with those kind of riffs, that's got to be fun to play drums. You know, I love playing drums like those kind of riffs, you know, those thick, like Soundgarden, like it's, you know, I don't know.
Well,
Pretty fun.
Matt Cameron is like Dodge, so
yeah,
I mean he's amazing, but I don't play anything like him. I mean sometimes I do, but he is the odd time king besides John Steiner from Helmet. But
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
oh
yeah,
yeah. That it's talk about like evolving because I'm this punk drummer and I had to learn to slow down a lot of my stuff, but I slow down, but I do my fills really fast still. So like, it's like it's all about energy for me, and punk rock has the most energy out of all music, and
dude.
so yeah. Go ahead.
We have two songs where we don't even count off. It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. It's just go, and there's no count. It's just you gotta feel into it like you're bracing yourself, like
Oh God, you got to hold on.
and then you have to start. And but I mean, we're used to it. But it's
Yeah, we
it's
used
that
to it
punk,
now.
it's that punk
That's
rock
awesome.
mentality. I mean, that's something we all have in common too. Was our love of punk rock, and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
No
out of tune a
effects.
little bit. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Hey, you guys playing live? You guys are playing at Blackstrap, June
yeah,
23rd, right?
it's exciting.
Yeah, that's where I met you, Aubrey. Like at the
I
grand
know,
opening.
I know. That was awesome. That
We
was
we,
really cool.
we cried because Anton didn't show up. You know, we
I
just
know.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Work,
Anton
damn
had
it.
Anton had official cornbread. Anton had official cornbread business,
Oh
and
yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's
he had
right,
to take
man.
care of that. You know, so I
All
got out
good.
of my shell and went around and said hey to everybody. That was really cool though. Like the fact they got Vinnie Paul's bandana hanging up above the drum kit is
I know. Yeah,
holy
sick.
crap, that's cool. And I was like, I wonder if I could just stand on the stage and look at it real quick. Not pouring it out against me. Yeah, that was sick. I think that's going to be great for us. I mean, and all of us have played in bands for forever, you know, and we've all been around the scene. And I think if the city allows it to be what it's going to be a great thing for the community. And
Yeah,
also,
absolutely.
because I've never honestly, man, seen so many people come together, like just these little kids just kicking ass, and just so excited about hearing music, and that makes you feel
Yeah,
good. Not only
a lot
like
of
watching
love.
bands, but
Hmm.
everybody came together, and that was really nice, So I
Yeah,
think
man, it
it,
was such a positive vibe in there, man. It was just
oh,
unreal.
dude, it was cool. Everybody was hanging out. There was a guy in a kilt we were in a mosh pit with, and a dude. And I think I talked to Scott about this. I want this guy at our show. I mean, the
That
kilt guy.
guy is
Dude,
Richard Lynn. I used to be in a band with him.
who
Yeah.
was the guy in the white shoes that was like, no, man, this guy was perfect, like Carlton dancing in the middle of the pit, and nobody hit him. And he was just, and I'm like, I don't know who
What?
he is, but I would pay him to be in the middle of our
Oh
show.
my God.
Like
You
he
need him at
never
your
missed,
show. Yeah,
dude, he never missed a beat. I don't know who he was, but that guy was awesome. I got
So that guy needs to stand next to Anton's jazz drum set and just do the
ah,
Carlton, as you're
dude,
like, yeah.
that guy was awesome. We need to find out who he is.
Yeah.
Anybody. I'll pay for his ticket. I'll pay for your ticket and to talk
Well,
to him.
you talk about Blackstrap, and I was talking to Kyle before the grand opening, and giving my feedback about the many venues that we've had that that just disappear after a while, and learning from those opportunities, and making it something great. And that's what's cool about all those people showing up, because Gainesville's been yearning for something. I talked to you about this several months ago about we should have a scene.
Yeah.
When Chris was around, he had Phantasmagoria, and I had the Cornbread Festival, and
Yeah.
we tried our damnedest to try to have like a scene in it, but at the time, I think a lot of people just didn't really want to put in the work, because it's a lot of work to network and show up and be consistent,
Yeah.
and make sure the bands don't destroy property or do anything like that. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
having Kyle Sanders, that outside force, really, I think
That
that helped a
helps.
lot. Yeah, he's got the history, and this dude just showed up out of nowhere. That I think that
yeah.
definitely helps. I
No,
wish
yeah,
we had
most
that when
definitely.
we were younger.
Well, I don't think we would have done it if we were younger, because Kyle is important, but Kyle doesn't know how games.
Yeah.
We do,
Good
and
point.
like I said in one of my posts on Facebook, it's going to be up to the citizens of all the surrounding areas to make sure we protect the place, to make it something
Mm.
cool and wholesome and fun for the kids and for the adults. Like, we need a place to play, like a
Yeah.
real place to play, like so people don't have to drive to freaking Atlanta all the time. They can drive 20, 30 minutes if they live in Buford or Swanee.
You know,
Absolutely.
if saw what I had saw at that show and felt, what we had felt watching those bands and being in the audience with everybody that close, the community will definitely support it. Like,
Yeah,
because that was awesome. I've never
Mm.
seen anybody come together like this, and we've seen a lot of places come and go, and just going to Atlanta, you know, packing up all your crap, maybe not even making gas money back.
right,
Um,
Yeah.
right.
you do it because you love it, because the songs need to be heard. But at the same time, when you don't have anywhere to play, that's why you see a lot of the musicians that are like, you know what, maybe I'll just go work the day job full time and just give up on music. And you see a lot of damn good musicians that should have made it because they didn't have anywhere to go. And we were going to be damned if we were going to be those people. So this came in at exactly the right time. I think exactly when all the bands are on point, when you have the bands to support it. You have Kyle as an outside force, and
Mhm.
we can learn from everything that happened in the past with all the other places. This place is going to thrive. The musicians need it. So
Yeah, and Kyle had, we were talking about the outside force, but Kyle has a good team too, and he has that Gainesville, like,
yeah,
Ronnie,
he's got a
all these
super,
people. Yeah,
he's got a super group of badasses behind him that
he
are all
does.
working
Yeah,
really, really hard, like making this go through, just taking time out of their day to work on the place and everything. That's awesome. That says everything right there.
Oh
when do you
yeah, I'm
guys? Oh yeah, keep going, Anton.
no, no, no. You good? You good?
I feel bad interrupting you, man.
No, you good?
Um, Well, are you guys gonna release like some kind of tangible like an album people can buy, like a maybe vinyl? I know vinyl takes forever, but like a CD or a cassette, that would be cool. Maybe get a skate deck with your logo on it, you know?
All right. One, the skate deck, I love the idea of. I don't care if I hit 40. I got in a mosh pit with a guy in a kilt and a dude doing the Carlton dance.
All in one night, you know?
All in one night. Yeah, dude, Wormwood with that logo and that crow, that'd be sick looking, man.
I
Yeah.
would be sick on
That
a
would
skate
be,
deck.
that
Yeah,
would be
I know somebody that could do that for you too. If you guys ever want it.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. But no, seriously, like, what you guys gonna release? Like, or is it just spot? I mean, streaming's the most popular thing. Probably that's probably the easiest, just to keep it.
Music's changed so much since all of us were releasing stuff, and we're used to having tangible stuff to, and we're artists too. You know, we want to have artwork. We want you to be able to read the lyrics. I put time into that. There's stories. Read them.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's important. It's part of the experience. However, in this day and age, not everybody feels the way I do. And that's fine. And I'm having to grow into that. However, we are looking into vinyls, and I think that would be a way to get this special version across. I think it'd be worth it. We can have some sneaky goodies inside them.
Yeah, and how cool would it be to have your own vinyl? I mean, just like
I know, right?
Yeah.
But how ballsy is that too? If you're only releasing something on a vinyl and through like streaming, it's either gonna go really good or. But I'm shooting for positive here. It's gonna be bangers.
Yeah,
but
I think.
I didn't want to do a cassette, you know, because we put so much time into making this sound good that I don't want to put it through cassette quality. All right. I don't. If I wanted to recordings, I would have spent all this money on this stuff. I would have recorded about 4 tracks.
Dude, Blink 182 did it. Damn it.
Yeah. Damn it. You see, like I like that. That's a hey, you know what? I'm not saying listen to the cassette. I'm saying it'd just be cool to have it. Be like, I got a cassette. That's mine.
I mean, so even in my living room right now, when I was going through my old stuff, I had found one of the very first like Wormwood acoustic demos, because I had just written like 5 or 6 songs, right, just by myself before I let anybody hear them, and it was like my Dave Grohl thing after Nirvana, you know, like here's my little songs, nobody judge them, and it was like 1999 demo.
Whoa, yeah, that's cool.
And I was like, I bet this sounds interesting. So, that's on the wall. I can't find a cassette player to listen to it yet, but yeah, some of the stuff is on there. So it's.
You should send that off and get uploaded. You know,
one day. One day. I mean, before this, we had put out like a 6-song EP in Athens. We had recorded, and we just wanted to have some music out. You know, this was we wanted something we could afford, right? Let's be real. Go into a studio, we're going out of our way. And we had to do everything live. So that meant like if you're doing vocal takes for like the 8 hours you're there playing it live.
Right, yeah.
Like everybody has to do it. So to me, that isn't an accurate representation of how we sound, like song wise or really recording wise. And it was nothing against the people. They were awesome people, and it was an awesome experience. And it was a learning experience. And what I learned is that it's almost impossible for another engineer or producer to put onto tape how I hear it or how we hear it, you know, in my head. I'm going to be super critical of that, because I'm always going to go, no, it's not the full story because you've recorded it wrong. Like that story is, you know, that ghost isn't accurately represented in the story.
Right.
The fucking snare drum sounds like shit, and you've thrown everything off, you know. But not with these new rolling drums. That snare never sounds bad.
Never. Not when you got like about 300,000 samples. That's what takes a lot of time, because like at first, like, Brandon was telling me, he's like, why don't every drum kit to be sound different? And I was like, why not? Like, that's the beauty of having this kit, and every song doesn't have the same drum sound in it anyway. So like, that's and some of them do. Like a couple of them have the same snare, but then two of them, I think two or three of them have different snare on it, and you don't tend to notice it as much after the whole song is mixed and mastered, but as it turns into a whole nother entity, like only the drummer and people who love drums will actually know the difference. But I
Mm.
think it's cool that I can have like a kit that's John Bottom 24 by 10 inch, or if I want to, I can have a piccolo snare, or I can have a small jazz kit. I can make it sound like anything I want, and just
That's
gotta.
awesome, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you
It's
just gotta spend the time.
it's cool because he's almost he did it with Tonight We Dine with Crows. The drums he used on it that I know he took a time to pick out and to use. It he almost tailors the drum sounds to like the emotion of the song,
Right.
which is just
Mm.
crazy to think about. But like I get what he's doing as a producer and like stuff like that nobody's gonna get. Like other musicians might, but I mean this the time he's taken to craft what he's already sending me is already a massive amount of work in itself, you know.
Yeah. When you play live, Anton, is it gonna be weird going back to a regular kit, or because some people even
Yeah.
bring that live. I know Guardians of the Jukebox do. Frank from
Oh, nice.
Posy and Suck Mojo, yeah, he does that. But so you're just gonna do live
Oh, cool.
kit?
Yeah, I'm going to use Bleach Garden, the guys that are going to be playing with us. I already asked them, so I'm going to use their kit. And that's the cool thing about this electronic kit, the VAD series, which is Roland's latest series. It's a real drum set. It's got real shells. It looks like the real thing. So when you're playing on it, you play on it like it's a real drum set. So
Mm,
there's not
yeah.
much acclimation that you have to really go through. I set it up just like I would want regular kit. It's just like that, and that makes it fun to play it, and makes it. I keep my style that way.
I wonder how many artists do record on a Roland or whatever. Like, is that a popular thing
The
to
latest
record on
one,
this guy?
the
Yeah.
latest one is taking off. So I got it. I was researching it right before COVID, and I mean it does cost a pretty little money, but it's taken off. I mean, all kinds of other artists, real famous artists, have bought the
Hmm.
kit and play with it. Like I said, you get to control all the elements of sound. Like when we played at a Shazzy's, we did a Shazzy show with Mickey, and we played there, and I was able to control my drum sound, so everyone else got to be quiet. And so, like, it was just dynamically like, oh my god, this is so amazing. And that's what I really loved about it. And I got to record it, and I got something to practice quietly when I want to. It just covers everything that I ever needed, and that you can't do on a acoustic set.
Yeah.
And still aesthetic too. It looks like a kit. That's the other thing too. Some of the other ones, kits, I don't get, hope Roland doesn't kill me, but I love the other ones because they look like, but like I wanted
Yeah,
something
I know
that
what you
looked like a
mean.
drum set. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, it
want some
looks corny.
spaceship.
It's like a little
Yeah,
like it's little saucers that you're supposed to hit as a
yeah.
symbol.
They
If
look like
it's
spaceships. And I was like, no, I want a
Yeah.
real drum set. Anyway, yeah.
if it's good enough for Butch Vig, it's good enough for us.
Butch Vig. Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's
Uh
that's the man.
Butch Vig is the man. How many so are you guys having somebody open for you when you play at Blackstrap? Or is it just you
Yeah.
guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Bleach Garden from Athens. I had been seeing them when I was networking the EP, and they're like an Athens grunge band, and that is the closest thing I could find that sounds remotely kind of like us in the same genre. And the songs are
Very
great.
cool.
They write really cool choruses. They've got a really great feel. It's going to be a good show. Both of us have EPs that have just come out, so
Mhm.
hopefully, they bring their people, we'll bring ours, and we'll get that line wrapped around like they did at the first show. Because that was so
Yeah,
cool seeing.
that would
Yeah,
roll, man.
Yeah, man.
Aubrey, are you gonna talk about these songs? I know you got a lot behind each song, right? Each song has kind of a meaning for you. Are you gonna talk about that live?
Um, no, probably not.
Like a singer
Well,
songwriter?
you know what?
No, this next tune.
You know,
Yeah.
if I did, I think they would get such snippets of it that they probably wouldn't get it. I think the backstories are good for like the album or
Hmm.
interviews or whatever. But as far as on stage, I think it's a little much to here's some heavy subject matter to bring you down. Right on.
Well, plus this has to be interpretive too. Like that's what I was telling Aubrey about whenever he's let me look at the lyrics, and I like looking at the lyrics, and because it helps me, paint that story for me too. But it's always interpretive, and so that's kind of the best thing about like any type of music, especially that's it also has to take your ego out of it. Well, like for me, like when if someone says they don't like something, I'm like, well, that's fine. I mean, or they love it, that's cool too.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
keeps it on a level to where um, I'm not looking for everyone to love my music. I'm looking for the people who enjoy it, dig it. Awesome. I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for the whole world. I'm not trying to get like that. So
Yeah,
um,
good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Is it and plus having lyrics like that must be vulnerable, like what are people gonna think about, some of my personal stuff?
It's David Bowie said it best. He said, when you feel like you're getting too comfortable, take a couple of steps out, and get your toes in the water and get into the deep end. And then, that's how you make the music. I try not to stay comfortable with it. And I try to be more honest with lyrics because, I mean, just honestly, as a songwriter, I was a songwriter first, but there's been lyrics and there's been artists that when I've heard that one certain song at a certain time in my life, that changed my life.
mhm,
Absolutely. That one lyric has haunted me since the day I've heard it. And I wanted to make that for somebody else. And I didn't hear storytelling being told in rock music. It's almost like a southern gothic, like how those stories are. Like I really like that. Like we had talked about Jason Isabel.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of my favorite songwriters.
Oh, he's amazing.
Favorite lyricists, and Jeff Buckley is another.
Jeff Buckley, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Gone too soon.
but yeah, but the songwriting. There wasn't substance. And it's not to say that you can't have summer feel good, danceable songs. You can. There's just not there, that summer goes and those songs aren't here no more. They're done with us. So I mean, the songs themselves, yeah, they're every one of them is heavy subject matter, and the whole premise of the EP is, and it's not to make anyone feel uncomfortable. It's meant to find that resonating chord in everybody. All of us have somebody we've lost or somebody that you wish you could have immortalized and have their story be told, even if it's yourself.
Hmm.
I had to do this after COVID and after my recovery from alcoholism and mental illness because of the alcoholism, that strategically messed up my brain. But in it, I
Hmm.
got these ghosts, and I wanted to be able to tell the people that I could and that I couldn't get to their stories. I wanted to immortalize them. So each song, Broken and Damned, Temperance, they're all people.
Hmm.
Even if one is about it, it's all stories, and it was the way that I can make them live forever. And if I had any work of art that's going to leave Gainesville, Georgia, it's going to be this. And I think this is a good way for me to pay homage to their stories, and for people who have been in the same situation, that you
Mhm.
can get back into it. You could be this creative, you could be this vulnerable and get your message out and have it affect somebody. And if it resonates with one kid like Chris Cornell did with me when I was 14, and that lyric changes your life, awesome. That's what we need more of.
Yeah, I
It
love that.
needs to be that kind of music. It's a healing. and it's therapy. So I mean, Ghost is like my confessions and my therapy for it. And all of them and all these people that got to work on it were kind enough to go like, okay, we'll sit and listen to your craziness for a bit, and genuinely didn't judge me for anything, have been 100% supportive in anything I've needed. And if I needed time to breathe, they know, like, I gotta recharge, give me a minute. But
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's really
I
good.
think I think overall this is our big thing. I think everything's coming in at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play live, and the album is great, and I love the songs.
Thank you so
You
much.
guys have anything else you want to add? Is there anything
Anton,
else?
what you got, Anton?
Anton.
No, I was,
No
you
pressure.
know, when we were going to talk about doing this, I was, I was just stoked that, I'll say what I said on my little Facebook thing again. Like, it's, it's really cool to have something accomplished. Like, and we worked on this thing for almost 2 years, and it came out to fruition. Like, oh wow, we did it all ourselves, and not a lot of people can say that. And so I was telling Aubrey and Brandon and Jack, I was like, we really need to talk about that process that we did it all ourselves. Like, we were tired of, not to say that any studio was bad, but we just wanted to make it sound like us. What
Us, yeah.
our own, yeah. And I've never done that before. I've always like did the rough draft version, did stuff, and you take it to the studio, and they get their interpretation of what we wanted. But this is what we really are, and I think that's a different way of looking at it. And I've played in a lot of bands, and this is I also talked to some old buddies like Chris Hunk. I was talking to him, and I told him, I said, I I want to I'm at a stage in my life now where I want to put something and let everyone judge it for whatever it is and just have it in the air. I've had so many freaking demos. I want something that like actually be like, not to say I wasn't proud of it, but like all of us be proud of it and let it stand the test of time, like Aubrey was talking about, and let people judge it however they want. And this is the start of a beginning of doing more completed work.
Yeah.
That's what I love about having that motivation. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great too. I love this technology too. It actually helps, just having platforms, that you can just have, you can upload this. But where else are you guys on? I always say Spotify. Are you guys on Apple Music or anywhere else?
Everything.
We're on
Everything.
everything. Yeah, if you just type us in our YouTube channel, Wormwood. Where are we at? 5019.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. I got it.
Yeah. But like you said, Anton, it's cool having this kind of platform where you have like, this is what we did. We did all ourselves, and the world can hear it. And back in the day, we never had anything like that. We had demos like CDs and cassettes.
Cost too much money. Yeah.
They get lost. Over time, people lose them.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing too. Go ahead.
Demo tapes wear out because you want to listen to your stuff because you're so excited about that tape, and then you wear the master tape out, and it just sounds like that. I've got tons of those, man. Tons of those. They all sound super analog though. It's cool.
I'm gonna have to be like Anton, because I've collect all the old stuff too. And the one album I lost, I have the case, and I've told you about this, Anton.
I got it. I
got the case. I need the CD.
Yeah. I got it. I'll get it for you. It's in storage right now. It's in storage right now.
3 copies.
I'm just playing. I just want to upload the thing, man.
Dude, my wife and I have went through 3 copies of that 0% vitamin A CD.
Yes, really.
Yeah. So I played at a cornbread festival as a drummer in my other band, the band that I had quit. So we had played, and I'd got one of the CDs there for something we were doing. I had 2 copies, and I had played one for like 10 years till it wore out because those were just good songs, man.
Yeah, man. I uploaded it to YouTube, man.
I had that, and then speaking of Chris Onk, like that was one of the reasons why I wanted to write lyrics the way I wanted to write lyrics. Weep was a huge inspiration for me. And if you would have caught me with Wormwood, if I had had the money or known the person to have played violin on it, I would have got a violinist to been in the band full
Oh,
time.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff.
Because
Yeah.
Whatever happened to
man,
Jeff, man?
Jesus,
Yeah.
Um,
that guy was so
he's still around. He's still around.
yeah,
I haven't talked to him in a while. He's on my Facebook, and Chris Stacker, the guitarist, I talk to him every now and then. He's doing
yeah.
pretty well.
Jody, the
That's
drummer for
awesome.
Weep,
Jody, yeah.
I talk to Jody all the time. We trade tracks. I'm trying to work with Jody a little bit. He's got a band called Gray Autumn Twilight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like this cool, like typo negative David Bowie thing that he works
Wow, that
on
sounds
with,
awesome.
yeah, he
Oh,
works
yeah.
on Richie with House of Warwick is another guy who was in a bunch of bands as well around then. Great dude. But yeah,
Oh,
Chris,
yeah.
that was that Weep album, man. That is why I wanted to write lyrics the way I did. And man, he had a phenomenal kick drum on that album too. That kick
Yeah.
sound, nobody had that kick sound before. Like you had to go to a studio where somebody professional knew what they were doing with EQ to get it click right, and to have that big, like large
Yeah,
hit.
man. That's awesome.
And it had that, and I was so envious. I'm like, one day I'm gonna have that unnecessary badass kick drum. And I'll
Yeah.
be damned if I don't have it in all the songs now. Because I could sample that kick if I needed to. But
Yeah.
that's another album. That album I wish I had. I wish I could find that one again too. Like maybe
Do you
Chris has
remember?
it.
Did you guys see them play at the? I remember seeing them play at Streamers and the Zoo back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
them play at Taco Mac, I think it was. They did like a bitchin' version of Pink Floyd's The Wall, and they just timed the
Mm.
echo and the vocals dead on, man. And I was like, these guys are so awesome. They timed the vocals and everything to echo. And with the
Yeah,
violin.
that's
They had
so
done
long.
Rage Against the Machine too. That was cool. I remember
Oh, that's so
Streamers.
cool.
I did play Streamers when I was like
Oh, you
13.
did?
I did,
Yeah.
yeah. I played Streamers in my first band. I'm trying to remember what we were called then. I think it was Plastic Smiles. It was that before it was Dismal.
Yeah, before it's Dismal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, like Dismal and People Crushing People, we had played there, and like
Yeah.
Taco Mac and Penny U,
And
and
remember, did you guys play with
we got
Disdain
banned.
too?
Yeah, we got banned from Taco Mac one year.
Plastic Smiles?
I think it was Dismal. They got
Dismal. Okay.
band. So I think one show, Anton, us and 0% were playing, right? And so like Anton and I are both drummers, and we're both very Dave Grohl style drummers, I like to think, in like intensity. And so me being really, really young, like we finished our song and we get 0% to come up with us, and we play Nirvana's Endless Nameless.
Nameless, yeah, I remember that.
At the end of Endless Nameless, what always happens at a Nirvana set? They wreck the shit out of it. So what did I do as a really young, dumb drummer with no job tape or anything? I smashed my stuff to shit. And
did you?
I look behind me because Anton's still playing his, and he just gives me this look like, don't touch my shit. Dude, I went from it got serious. Because I wasn't in the band with him. Like, we only played shows together, and we didn't like ever hang out or talk or anything.
No,
so
no,
I didn't know, but like, yeah, he don't touch my shit. My bad.
Oh, that's so funny, man. Hey, well, I appreciate you guys being on the show. I love it, man. This is so cool.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I grew up with Anton and Aubrey, man. We probably crossed paths back in the day, which you don't even know about, or maybe maybe we were friends back in the day. Who knows?
Well, thank you, Scott, for letting us do this, man. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you at the show, man. You guys take care. Peace.
Yeah, you too, man. Wormwood project. Yes. All right. See you guys.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Later.
Later, guys.